The season finale of Hazbin Hotel absolutely delivered chaos, betrayal, and heartbreak in ways that fans never saw coming. This episode literally broke heaven's gates open and left us questioning everything we thought we knew about redemption, family, and the price of peace. Episode 8 kicks off with the most devastating father-daughter moment of the series, sets up an impossible war between realms, and ends with a cliffhanger that will have you screaming for season 3. Let's break down every shocking twist, emotional gut punch, and game-changing revelation from this insane finale. The episode opens with Lucifer singing one of the most adorable songs ever as he practices his apology to Charlie, calling himself the best dad in hell while nervously rehearsing lines about giving his daughter a big papa apology. It's genuinely sweet watching the king of hell act like any anxious parent trying to make things right after a fight. But this wholesome moment gets shattered instantly when Lucifer walks into what he thinks is Charlie's room, only to find himself trapped by Vox using angelic metal restraints from Carmilla Carmine. The revelation that Vox has been planning this capture all along hits like a truck, especially when he smugly tells Lucifer that he owns the radio demon and now owns hell itself. What makes this scene even more brutal is how Vox mimics Charlie's voice to lure Lucifer, and showing just how calculated and manipulative his whole scheme has been. Lucifer tries to maintain his usual sarcastic attitude, making jokes about being married and calling Vox garbage, but you can see the panic setting in when he realizes he's completely helpless. The angelic metal means he can't use his powers, and Vox makes it clear that he's counting on Lucifer being unable to harm sinners. This capture isn't just about power, it's about psychological warfare, and Vox knows exactly how to hit where it hurts most. The episode then launches into Vox's villain song, Brighter, which might be one of the most chilling musical numbers in the entire series. We watch him systematically take over Hell's media empire, murdering his way to the top while singing about climbing higher and making the weak obey. The montage shows him eliminating news anchors, taking control of entertainment networks, and building his media empire literally on top of corpses. The lyrics about slitting throats to make it to the top aren't metaphorical. We see him actually doing it. This isn't just ambitious villainy, it's pure sociopathic behavior wrapped in catchy music and charismatic presentation. What's absolutely terrifying about this sequence is how real it feels in terms of media manipulation and corporate takeover. Vox doesn't just want power, he wants to control information, shape public opinion, and become the voice that everyone trusts. The repeated phrase, "trust me with your weather, trust me with your news, you trust me with your entertainment," shows how he's positioning himself as the ultimate authority figure. By the end of the song, he's literally being called a god, and the scariest part is that he believes it completely. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, Charlie is frantically trying to reach her father, sending 14 apologies and a whole flock of duck emojis because she feels awful about their last fight. The desperation in her voice as she keeps calling shows just how much she loves him despite their complicated relationship. When Vaggie points out that Charlie did kind of let him have it during their last conversation, you can see the guilt eating at her. This sets up the emotional stakes perfectly. Just when Charlie wants to make things right with her dad, he's been kidnapped and she has no idea. The emotional devastation gets even worse when Charlie sees Angel Dust on TV denouncing the hotel as a complete joke. Hearing someone she cares about, someone who was supposedly her first success story, publicly declare that redemption is impossible and that the only way forward is through violence absolutely destroys her. The betrayal cuts deep because Angel isn't just reading lines, he's speaking from a place of pain and manipulation that makes his words feel genuine. Charlie's confused. Why would he say that? It perfectly captures how this feels like a personal attack on everything she believes in. Vox's manipulation reaches peak evil during his broadcast, where he unveils the Might of Lilith, a massive weapon designed to complete what Charlie's mother started almost a decade ago. The weapon looks absolutely disgusting and wrong, which seems intentional. This isn't some noble tool of justice, but a perversion of Lilith's original vision. Vox claims he's giving demons the ability to defend themselves and fight back against heaven's tyranny, but really he's just escalating a conflict that will get countless people killed on both sides. The moment when the weapon fires and blasts a hole straight through heaven's gates is genuinely shocking in its visual impact. We see angels running and screaming in terror, completely unprepared for an attack on what was supposed to be the ultimate safe space. The destruction isn't just physical, it's psychological warfare designed to show that nowhere is safe anymore. When Vox delivers his ultimatum giving heaven 24 hours to surrender or face the next extermination, the panic in heaven becomes absolute chaos. The scenes in heaven after the attack showcase some brilliant character development, especially with Sera struggling under the weight of impossible decisions. Elut wants immediate retaliation and total war, Emily begs for peaceful resolution, and poor Abel just keeps saying he's not trained for an actual apocalypse. Sera's internal conflict feels incredibly real. She's supposed to be the ultimate authority figure, but she's just as scared and confused as everyone else. When she decides to let Emily try for peace while preparing for war, it shows character growth and wisdom even in the face of crisis. Sera Pentious gets one of his best moments in the entire series during his conversation with Sera. His song, Live to Live, provides incredible insight into human nature and the redemption process. The lyrics about humans being afraid all the time, with mortality being a blade swinging with no reason or rhyme, perfectly capture why people make terrible choices when they're desperate to survive. But the key message is that redemption starts with genuine remorse and proving you care about others more than yourself. Pentious, explaining that humans do evil things because they're scared, not because they're inherently bad, gives Sera the perspective she needs to see past the immediate crisis. His line about mistakes being innate to being human and alive, followed by a fall, we repent, we survive, becomes the emotional core of the episode. When he talks about learning from Charlie that redemption starts with sorry but must include proving you care, it perfectly encapsulates what the hotel has always been trying to teach. The revelation that Baxter designed Voxtech's entire broadcasting system creates the perfect setup for the counterattack plan. His casual admission that he could help them broadcast to all of hell, combined with his adorable reasoning that Charlie folding his blankets at the perfect 45-degree angle made them best friends, he provides both humor and hope in an otherwise dark episode. The fact that he's willing to risk his life because of this small kindness shows how redemption often comes from unexpected connections and basic human decency. Emily's arrival at the hotel feels like divine intervention, but her news that heaven finally believes in redemption comes too late to stop the immediate crisis. Charlie's explanation that Vox has successfully smeared their reputation and villainized angels completely shows just how effective his propaganda campaign has been. The realization that seeing is believing, and they need to show hell the truth rather than just tell them, sets up the final plan that will either save everything or get them all killed. But the group song, When I Think About the Future, brilliantly showcases everyone's motivations and fears going into the final confrontation. Charlie and Vaggie sing about their dreams of coexistence and working as a team to prevent war. Meanwhile, Vox fantasizes about becoming the one true god that everyone prays to, while Alastor mocks him and predicts his inevitable failure. The V's worry about their relationships falling apart as Vox becomes more power-hungry and isolated. Even Angel Dust appears briefly, confused and scared about being trapped in Vox's schemes. Sera's part of the song reveals her internal torment about the deaths to come in the realms drowning in crushing violence. Her questioning whether she could have done more to prevent war, combined with her fear that the coming day might be their last, shows the weight of leadership during impossible times. The contrast between Charlie's hopeful vision of the future and Sera's dread-filled anxiety perfectly captures the stakes of what's about to happen. The conversation between Vox and Alastor reveals crucial information about both characters' motivations and weaknesses. Alastor systematically breaks down every one of Vox's supposed victories, pointing out that he only beat the radio demon with help, captured Lucifer using borrowed information, and punched a hole in heaven with someone else's device. The accusation that Vox has been pathetically begging for help all around hell cuts deep because it's absolutely true. Vox's plan to get Charlie to bow before him on camera in front of all of hell, while endorsing him as he finishes what her mother started, shows the depth of his psychological manipulation. He doesn't just want to defeat Charlie, he wants to humiliate her and use her own reputation to legitimize his reign of terror. The idea of a member of the royal family endorsing his hostile takeover is brilliant from a propaganda perspective, but absolutely sick from a personal one. Alastor's prediction that Charlie will never admit she was wrong, and that her stubborn integrity is what makes her entertaining to watch, proves he understands her character better than Vox does. His casual mention that when Vox dies, he'll be free again, hints at deeper plans and suggests that Alastor might be playing a longer game than anyone realizes. The dynamic between these two characters continues to be fascinating, with both of them using Charlie for their own purposes while genuinely seeming to care about her in their own twisted ways. The final scenes set up an impossible rescue mission that will require everyone working together despite their differences. Charlie's decision to walk into V-Tower knowing it's a trap shows her growth as a leader. She's not being naive or reckless, but making a calculated decision that the potential to prevent war is worth the personal risk. Vaggie's protective instincts and the team's willingness to follow Charlie into danger demonstrate the genuine bonds that have formed at the hotel. The plan to set up a counter-broadcast using both heaven's and hell's technology represents the perfect metaphor for what the hotel has always been about, bringing together opposing forces to create something new and better. The collaboration between Baxter, Sera Pentious, Emily, and the hotel crew shows that redemption isn't just individual, it's about building communities that can work together despite their differences. The episode ends with everyone preparing for what could be their final mission, knowing that failure means war between the realms and countless deaths. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the emotional investment in these characters makes every moment feel crucial. The cliffhanger leaves us desperate to know whether love, hope, and redemption can actually overcome manipulation, fear, and the thirst for power. This finale perfectly captures everything that makes Hazbin Hotel special: complex characters making difficult choices, genuine emotion mixed with dark humor, and the constant question of whether people can actually change for the better. The way it balances intimate character moments with epic cosmic stakes creates a viewing experience that's both deeply personal and utterly spectacular.